We're joined by Congressman Benny Thompson. He's the ranking Democrat on the House Homeland Security Committee. Congressman, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Wolf.
I assume you've been briefed on this attempted terror attack. What can you tell our viewers?
Well, I can tell you that from all indication, this was a lone wolf, someone that we think was probably radicalized over the internet. But as you know, soft targets are very hard to protect. And the subway station is an ideal soft target. We've looked at this from time to time on our committee, and you know, it's very, very difficult. The only thing we can work on is making sure we put training together, make sure we get federal, state, and locals working together, making sure everyone's on the same page. But from all indication, this was someone who came to this country legally, who's been here for about 7 years, and as far as we know, is not affiliated with any group other than who he claims to say he's identifies with ISIS.
Yeah, his name is Akayed Ullah. He's 27. He came in 2011 to the United States from Bangladesh. This failed suicide bomber pledged allegiance, as you're pointing out, to ISIS. Do you believe, Congressman, this represents a new phase of the threat to the American homeland?
Well, there's no question about it. We've looked at this as a vulnerability. As I said, soft targets, they're very hard to protect. Those individuals who act as lone wolves, don't have any organization, it's very difficult to identify them. And until they step forward, it's very difficult and almost impossible from a law enforcement standpoint to know who they are. So we were fortunate in New York today. It didn't work. He failed. But it could, to be honest with you, he could succeed. Someone could. So what we have to do is work on intelligence, Wolf, and making sure that the public, if you see something, say something. Apart from that, we'll just continue to do the best job we can. I say that New York, by far, has the best system of protecting its citizens that we have. We've invested a lot there. The NYPD does a wonderful job. They coordinate with state and locals like they should. So even under the best of times, when you have a lone wolf who decides that this is his or her day to do something bad, it's very, very difficult from a public policy standpoint to protect it.
Yeah, the Joint Terrorism Task Force in New York is one of the best in the country, if not, as you correctly point out, the best, working with the FBI and local and state police. The White House says this attack today would have been prevented if Democrats, including you, you're a Democrat, had enacted the president's immigration policies. What's your response to that?
Well, you know, we have a robust immigration system, Wolf. We do the vetting that best you can. The president talks about extreme vetting. To be honest with you, they can't define it. I want anyone who comes to this country, that between the State Department, FBI, and other officials, to know who they are, and they do a good job. Just to throw a dog whistle at an issue is not what we should do. Now, this whole notion of chain migration, you know, part of that, as you know, is family unification. So many individuals who've used that procedure come to this country because mother or father is already here, and we're trying to keep families together, not separated. And just to say that this is another issue, I think it's a problem. So the courts ultimately will settle this, and I'm convinced that the courts will fall down on the side that the law or the land is intact, and what the president is trying to do is unconstitutional.
Yeah, he came to the United States illegally, Akayed Ullah, this Bangladeshi man at 27 years old, once again right now, because he did have relatives already living in the United States. In a statement the president put out, let me read one sentence. He said, today's terrorist suspect entered our country through extended family chain migration, which is incompatible with national security. Do you agree with the president on that?
No, I don't. We're a nation of values, Wolf. The same kind of scrutiny that any other individual who wants to come to this country, they'd have to go through in this program. So there's no exceptions for anyone who comes to this country. The vetting is absolutely the best that we can do. And if the president wants to improve it, put it out, let us have hearings on it and talk about it. But you can't run the immigration system by executive order. The legislative branch has to participate in the process. And most of the time when we participate, we make things better.
Congressman, there's more we need to discuss, but I got to take a quick break. We'll resume the interview right after this.